In this video released by the U.S. Coast Guards, a narco submarine has been intercepted. A Marine Patrol aircraft was patrolling near the Pacific coast when it spotted a submarine in the water. It immediately reports to the U.S. Coast Guards, and in a matter of minutes, 2 boats and a helicopter arrive there. It can be seen in the video that the Coast Guard's crew had come very close to the submarine, but the smugglers inside did not know about it. Finally, the officers forcibly opened the submarine's latch and arrested the smugglers inside. This narco submarine contained 3,000 kgs of cocaine, which was being quietly brought from South America to the U.S. It was one of the 200 narco submarines captured by the authorities from 2006 to 2025. But it was only those who were caught. Every year, thousands of submarines deliver illegal drugs in the U.S., and no one knows about it. How do narco submarines work? Why is it difficult to catch them? And where are they made? Welcome to Hidden History Hub H videos once again. Drug smuggling is an act that has been stopped by different institutions in every country, every era. And drug smugglers are being tried in new ways. But after so many attempts, we see that it has not been stopped 100% in many countries in the US and Europe. The biggest reason for this is that big drug cartels always try to keep themselves 2 steps ahead of the anti-drug forces. Since the beginning, South America has been the cradle of the illegal drug mafia. And the reason for this is the unique climate here, which is perfect for the production of coca plants. At present, the world's largest cocaine production is in Colombia. 90% of the cocaine caught in the US is said to be from Colombia. Then comes Peru, and then Bolivia. These 3 are South American countries, and they are considered the Golden Triangle or Andean Triangle of the cocaine industry. 99.5% of the cocaine in the world is produced in these 3 countries. Now, these drugs have been used in different ways from South America to Central America and Europe. In the 1960s, when the strictness was low, people used to put it in their luggage and take it to Central America and Europe in normal passenger planes. Then when the strictness began to increase, the use of submarines began. But because there are a lot of profit margins in smuggling, especially if the product is illegal. That's why the drug mafia used small Cessna ships during the 1980s. These ships were flown from Colombia to small Caribbean islands such as the Normans or the secret airstrips built in the jungles of Central America. This was the era when Pablo Escobar's Medellin cartel controlled 80% of the cocaine market in the world. Clever partners like Carlos Leda had turned islands like Norman's Key into a smuggling hub where these small ships landed. But as the radar systems slowly improved, law enforcement authorities began to catch these small ships as well. Then the cartels started using speedboats. These were not ordinary speedboats, but were made with a specially modified engine. These drugs-filled boats were driven to the Caribbean islands. As long as the Coast Guard's eyes were on them, these boats would do their job and go back. But the USA and its allies increased maritime patrolling on the Caribbean and Pacific coasts and installed advanced radar systems. This made it easier to track these modified speedboats. By the 1990s, the big drug lords had closed the air and maritime routes to the USA. And this pressure gave birth to engineering innovation. At that time, they needed a technology that could deceive radars, be invisible to marine patrols, and most importantly, transport as many drugs as possible. The cartels decided to make submarines using engineering. Submarines made of fiberglass, which filters the radar's signature. Where there was limited capacity in boats, drugs were transporting in these submarines up to 5 to 10 tons. These submarines, which are called narco submarines, were so successful that for many years the anti-narcotics police did not even know which way drugs were being brought to Central America. This trend, which started in the 1990s, broke out when the first narco submarine was caught in 2006, almost 16 years later. At that time, the U.S. Coast Guard's crew was on air patrolling about 160 kilometers from the Pacific coast of Costa Rica when they saw 3 pipes of plastic coming out of the water. It was a narco submarine made of 50-foot-long wood and fiberglass. The U.S. Coast Guard said that they had heard about it, but it was the first time they had seen it. But where do the drug mafia engineers make these submarines? What facilities do they have? How far can they travel? And why do smugglers drown such an expensive submarine in the sea? Let me tell you that from 2006 to date, a total of 200 submarines have been caught, but authorities believe that many more have remained undetected. There are a total of 4 types of narco submarines. The first is a low-profile vessel, also known as LPV. It is actually not completely submerged in water. In fact, most of it is underwater and a small top on the water. It is about 14 meters long, and its color is similar to that of the sea, which also makes it anti-detection. In terms of capacity, 7.7 tons of cocaine can be transporting in it. Authorities say that it often runs on a small route from South America to Central America. The second narco submarine is the transatlantic semi-sub. It is like the first LPV model, but more modern and much bigger. It is about 20 meters longer. It has 3 compartments, one for the engine, one for the crew, and one for the cargo. It has a total of 20,000 liters of fuel capacity. Because of this, it can easily travel a long sea journey from Brazil to Europe. These submarines do not have GPS, but the smugglers inside change direction with the help of a compass. The third is the snorkel sub. This model is similar to the real submarine, which can be completely submerged in water. It is 24 meters long and has a fiberglass body. When it is in action, only one snorkel pipe remains above the surface of the water, which provides oxygen for the diesel engine and air for the crew. It has ballast tanks, which take it deeper when in danger. No such submarine has ever been caught in the sea, and the fourth is the most cunning electronic submarine. This is the most advanced and modern type of narco submarine. 12 meters long, fiberglass body, and no crew inside. It does not have a diesel engine, but the use of batteries only powers 2 electric motors. Because it is electric, it is extremely quiet, and even sonar scanners cannot detect it. Its range is only 60 kilometers, so it is towed by tying a rope from a large ship. When the Coast Guards come, this rope is unhooked, and it goes into the water and hides. Authorities say that this submarine has never been caught in action. Only its models have been found in the jungle, which made it known about it. These submarines have a small washroom for the crew, a place to sleep, and energy bars for food. Now we know where such advanced submarines are made. These submarines are mostly built in the deep jungles of South America in hidden shipyards. These are such remote areas that it is impossible to reach here. And due to dense jungles, these shipyards cannot be seen with the help of satellites, drones, or helicopters. According to an estimate, it costs up to $2 million to build a submarine. But this cost does not matter in front of 10 tons of cocaine, which costs up to $400 million. That's why they are only made for one-time use. As soon as the mission is completed, its valve is opened and left to sink in the sea, so that these submarines are never found by the Coast Guards, and nor can it be reached to those who make it. Even if the crew is present inside and they find out that the Coast Guards are coming close, they would immediately open the emergency valve and deliberately sink it. And they would come out themselves so that there is no evidence left behind. Before 2008, there was a law in the USA that if a narco submarine was sinking, then the Coast Guards would consider its crew only to sink and rescue them. And because the submarine went down thousands of meters to the ocean floor and lost all the evidence, it was difficult to file a case against them. But after 2008, this law was changed. Still, smugglers sink the submarine in such a situation because they know that it will be easier to argue in court because there is no evidence and the punishment may be reduced. This is why most narco submarines are destined to sink, whether they deliver successfully or get caught. In very few cases, it has happened that the Coast Guards have caught a narco submarine in action. But here the question arises that where did the authorities get all this information about the narco submarine that you are seeing in this video? In 2022, Oscar Morna Ricardo, an important figure in the world of smuggling, was caught, who was nicknamed the King of Narco Submarines. This was not a smuggler, but his primary work was the construction of these submarines. Later it was found that Oscar has also worked in the past to transport cocaine through speedboats. But over time, he worked as a designer and engineer who made excellent and stealth vessels for cartels. He made vessels for large criminal groups in Mexico and Colombia. Oscar Ricardo usually lived in his jungle's secret shipyard. But in January 2022, he went to Colombia's city of Medellin to crack a deal and was arrested there. In this mission, along with the Colombian National Police and Army, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration was also involved. The arrest of master builders like Oscar is certainly a big win for law enforcement. But in reality, this is just the edge of the iceberg. Despite every successful operation, experts believe that thousands of tons of cocaine are still reaching Central America and Europe from the bottom of the sea, where old submarines are drowned in the depths of the sea to erase evidence. At the same time, a new genius must be working on electric, soundless, and unmanned drone submarines in Colombia's dense jungles. The only thing is that as long as these drugs are in demand, the business of billions of dollars of large cartels will continue to grow in different ways. What do you think about this? Do let me know in the comments section. I hope you will like and share this video of Hidden History. See you in the next great video.